What screams, I'm insecure? Constantly putting yourself down so others will compliment you. Constantly putting others down to raise yourself up. Constantly talking about how much money they make. Posting Facebook quiz results that say how smart, mature, beautiful, or amazing you are in whatever way. It's especially telling if someone has a bad habit, like being terrible at housekeeping / messy, and posts a quiz result saying how this trait makes them better than other people, usually more creative. Not being able to see that disagreeing with what they say doesn't mean that you have an issue with them. I get this is true for most people. However, I work with a girl who has to disagree with everything I say. Even when I'm not directly talking to her, she will pipe up and try to contradict or disagree. I've got a good memory, so once I tested it with one of her own previous statements, and yup, disagreed with that too. Defo has an issue with me. Daily selfie posts and resharing the old selfies from your Facebooks on this day every single day. Daily I love my husband / wife FB posts about how great their spouse is, and writing on their FB wall conversations you would probably have at home, in person. Yes, I'm pretty sure my friends who make these posts are in the most toxic relationships. People who feel the need to decide whether others are true members of their group / fandom / whatever, based on their standards alone. If you haven't read the manga, you're not a true insert anime here fan. If you can't name more than 5 albums of insert band here, or recite all the members' blood types, you're not a real fan. If you don't speak perfect Tagalog, know how to cook adobo blindfolded, or memorize the length of Manny Pacquiao's PP down to the millimeter, you're not a true Filipino. They act like that group / fandom is all they have going for them, so they'll fight tooth and nail to avoid getting knocked down a peg. Caring about your manliness, or being obsessed with manly things. I was always taught that being a man was about taking care of the things you were supposed to take care of, being a gentleman, respectful and fair to all people, and beyond that, duck all. Go ahead and wear a tutu, or collect tiny anime figurines, if you've got the first 2 down pat. But the amount of utterly pathetic pride I see in being able to drink liquor, or grow a beard even as something as ducking mundane as driving a stick shift just screams, please validate my fragile ego. It's fine to like whatever you like, but if you take pride in something like that, you need some real accomplishments. Go volunteer, be a mentor, heck just be a better person. If you define yourself merely by the things you like, rather than the things you believe in, or are responsible for, you're not an adult to say anything of being a man. Dads that want to yell at their son to show what a man they are. They think it makes them look confident, it makes them look insecure, angry and just weird. My dad did the same thing, and I turned out fine. Continue screaming at a child. When people say I have a very strong personality, I automatically cringe, but don't say anything cause I don't want to hurt their feelings. But really, a person that has a strong personality doesn't have to mention it. We can all sense it, you know what I mean. Checking in at the gym on social media every single time you go. We get it. If you're working out for your own self and your own health, rather than attention, you wouldn't feel the need to publicly announce when you step foot in a gym. People who give ultimatums. People who always feel attacked when you disagree. Kinda go hand in hand sometimes. I knew way too many people who take disagreements as an attack. They're usually the type to constantly criticize, to blow steam and act like a victim when they get any of it back. People who have to be in a relationship at all times or bounce from relationship to relationship with little to no time being single. People who delete Instagram posts and re-upload them at a different time in an attempt to gain more likes than the first upload could produce. People with little man complex. Social media posts talking about our horrible oppressive beauty standards and campaigning to change them to conveniently include the original poster. Shut the duck up, Jody. You've made fun of fat people right in front of me, and now that you've gained weight you've suddenly had this change of heart and think everybody is beautiful? Pretty obvious you figure it's easier to guilt other people into finding you attractive than to actually hit the gym or work on your reptile-like personality. Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Every wall is covered in articles, reviews, quotes, local awards from far-flung locales. Like, I already know the burgers are good, you guys. You don't have to make every bit of praise ever thrown your way into the main theme of your restaurant's decor. It comes off kinda desperate. Ick now? You've got all these trophies and yet you're still screaming for validation. Literally screaming at people in long a-hole rants for disagreeing with you in the very slightest, citing a handful of sources that you memorized that agree with your stance but aren't necessarily true. Backing up your manliness by mentioning that you could fight every guy that walks by, going home in your huge, lifted truck that you drive poorly. We get it, man. You need attention. Your whole existence is teetering on the edge of a breakdown. Giving advice to people who really don't need it. Reassuring yourself of your own decisions. Convincing yourself you're right. I was with a friend who kept assuring me that this new girl he's dating is really good for him and that sometimes you gotta just focus on yourself. You just gotta be happy alone and doing what you want to be doing. This was under the guise that, since I was broken up with my ex-girlfriend 5 months ago, that I'm not okay with being alone or some. When really, I was upset all summer, but I got over it. But he isn't. He must have said that 20 times in one night while we were drinking. I think he broke up with his girlfriend of 3 years to fool around with a new girl and is regretting it immediately since new girl is being wishy-washy but affectionate towards him. Bringing up the fact that you have a degree when it's irrelevant. Just recently witnessed a drunk kid, 22, trying to talk about something he didn't know well, and he shared with everyone that he has an engineering degree. The bartender laughed and told him everyone at the table had degrees, and then told him to settle down or he'd be asked to leave. When people get pissed off at others trying to better themselves, it just screams, hey, I need you to feel bad and be on my level so I don't have to feel bad. Like people who get mad their buddy doesn't want to get wasted all the time. People that talk down on someone's relationship because a person doesn't want to do things that disrespect that relationship. People that get mad at activists and scientists. I live in Texas and the ultimate insecure thing are the sucked up trucks that are jacked up at least 3 feet. The things are never on construction sites, hauling any sort of materials or moving trailers. It is just an inverse relationship between how large your truck size versus PP size. Posting about how amazing your relationship is or how amazing your sew is. Maybe I'm alone in this, but if you think that way, just tell them. Flip side, pointing out how insecure someone must be to have to post about their relationship or so to make sure everyone else knows everything is super amazing. Just be better and move along. No one needs that negativity. Constantly feeling the need to be included in every single conversation. Dude, we get it. You want to be relevant. You don't need to insert yourself into every situation as someone who is an expert on the subject. Especially when a simple Google can disprove 90% of the facts you contribute. Talking about how much of an alpha male you are. Can confirm. Had a friend who constantly bagged on his roommate, who was pretty timid and didn't really stick up for himself. When roommate finally told him, look, I don't know what your problem is, but cut it out. Dude got so angry about and told his roommate that he wouldn't make fun of him if he wasn't such a beta male. This alpha male, a true Adonis, has been kicked out of university twice because of academics/attendance, rarely turns work in on time and constantly alienates people by his jacassery, but he's definitely alpha and everybody else just can't handle how alpha he is. He's so alpha, you don't even know. I'm seeing a ton of replies associated to Facebook. How about just being on Facebook makes you insecure? Deleted my FB 4 years ago and never looked back. Feels Skidman. Just doing that alone gave me a huge boost in confidence. Social networking is changing our brains, man. Constantly touching your face, especially while you're fiddling. If you're talking to someone, stay in a comfortable but strong position. You will seem much more professional compared to if you constantly twirl your hair or keep touching your face in some way. Backhanded compliments. We had a guy in the office for a sort of casual interview process. I was showing him the code of some software we use and chatting about random stuff. He started to tell the story about how he took a court-mandated IQ test during his recent child custody battle. I got a 138. The judge was pretty impressed. Me, is that good? I've never taken one. True story. They sound dumb. Yeah, it's pretty high. You're smart too. You'd probably get 115 or 120.